Authorization is a very important concept in security. Basically, once a user is authenticated, authorization is about giving permission to a user to do actions on the Fleet server or another application. So as developers, we must ensure that the users are only allowed to do what they're authorized to do. So one kind of development trick that we use at Fleet is to flag the lack of authorization basically as loudly as we can. So in our code base, we're using GoKit, and most of the endpoints are in this handler.go file. As you can see, we create an endpoint, and these are different APIs we can hit. So every endpoint calls eventually, when creating the endpoint, it calls this kit HTTP new server function. And as you see above it, we wrap this with our auth-z check. So basically the flow is the following. So we got a request, we decode it, and decoding does do some validation, so you can get a 400 bad request here error out of this. Then we come in here, and then basically all our business logic, all our core logic is wrapped by this auth-z check. And once auth-z check passes, we encode response and send it back to the client. So this auth-z check runs basically for every request that goes out before the response goes out. So this check is right here. So basically, we're making sure that authorization actually happened. And this is just checking a flag that we set when we authorize the user, or in some cases we have to call a method to skip authorization. But basically, we ensure that we did consider authorization and we did something. So if we didn't, then we're basically going to get a server error, and this is what ends up happening. We get a server error. So this type of approach kind of helps us in our development and QA process to ensure that authorization is always happening in our business logic.